ahead and hit me up on my social media platforms, Instagram preferably, or Facebook, as at Shiko Kaittany. Let me know. We love to hear some of the leads of people that you'd like us to feature, and we'll be most appreciative. Today, we are all about a retail that is making, by the way, headlines. And by the way, if you hear this gentleman's story, you will be amazed and you will be motivated to do the same, okay? Talk about, you know, getting out of your comfort zone and going after what you want. That's the story of Willie Kimani, the CEO of Jaza Discounter. If you haven't heard about them, well, you're about to. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. It's so good to have you, Willie.
Thank you very much, and good morning. Lovely to be here. Loving this particular nice morning, all of that.
Yes.
Just to clearly come in and just show who exactly Jaza is all about, and just tell the story about Jaza.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And I'm excited because I always love to hear how people did it, you know, and managed to break through. And so before you even tell us about the brand and what makes it so different from all your other retail outlets that are there, why don't you tell us about Willie? Because this is the story that almost every journalist wants to hear about. Yeah.
So Willie is a 43 young man who actually started off way back in Nakuru, and that whole story that all the retailers come from Nakuru.
Yeah, I believe maybe it's true. Yeah.
There's not something about it, but Nakuru is my hometown, and I went to Lenana School in the year 1996, and from there I went to the University of Nairobi.
Yeah.
And from UN, worked slightly with Kensel then, and slightly as an MT with a Unilever project. And immediately after, we actually started off that whole rebranding of the then Tusker Mattresses Limited to Tuskies.
Yeah.
So my story started off in retail in Tuskies with a very great gentleman. I actually happened to be more like his KYM. He's a great Stephen Mokua, the late, unfortunately, but really mentored us. And during that time, it's also the same time that the systems were changing. So the systems were changing, we were rebranding, and that means someone had to know end to end, all the way from the finance beat and all that.
Correct.
And I kind of have to say, a lot of my foundation growing started actually at that particular point. So we worked in Tuskies from 2002 till around 2009. No, sorry, 2005 to 2009. And in 2009, I actually joined the great Naivas. And Naivas then only had 9 stores. And we was able to work with Naivas and rebrand and change quite a bit of all that to the market leader. And when it was finally 100 stores and all that, we've delivered, and we have actually got there when you're now at the apex saying, hey, guess what? We have done it, but there's something missing in the market. And what was actually missing in the market is that things started changing. And you'll actually notice, even like last week, you notice the whole finance bill and the demos and all those things. And it's because of the hardships that were actually there in the market.
Correct.
So I'm noticing that people are more keen on savings and not that they're more for the value, not necessarily the choice of brand and stuff. And looking off into the market, we clearly saw that, hey, guess what? There is something that needs to be there.
Yeah.
And that's how we came up with Jaza and said, hey, we are going to start off Jaza. And happily in December, we had our first store. And as we sit here today, we have 12 stores. Oh, wow. In 6 months, yes. So quite happy about that.
Right, right.
Yes.
So when you essentially created this brand, were there any challenges in how to make it look and feel different? Because you have all these brands in your mind, right? And you've worked with Tuskies, you've worked now with Naivas. So here comes now your challenge of finding your own identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the best time to now explain what exactly the model actually looks like. So here comes in the gap. We have what is called modern trade and general trade in the market. So modern trade has only 30%, and modern trade is where you'll explain your Naivases of this world, your Carrefours, your Quick Marts, Food Pluses, and some of the forecourt Shell stores and all that. They only make up around 30% of the market.
Okay.
Then you have general trade, which has 70% of the market. And then you have the wholesalers, you have the distributors, you have the kiosks and all that. And in between there, you actually find that in the 70%, you're not getting experiential.
Yeah.
In this other 30%, you're also not getting the right price and all that. So we needed to come up with a model that was in between these two.
Right.
So the model and how to differentiate ourselves came in between, asking ourselves, what if we actually sell a bale of unga, but we're at a wholesale price, but we arrange it in a supermarket such that someone can be able to pick us one at the wholesale price.
Oh, wow.
And that is why we actually call ourselves just a discounter. So we are discounting. We are going for nothing else.
Yeah.
And we clearly said we are going to index at what is called 0.92, 92%, meaning if the market leader is at 100 shillings, ours is 8 bob saving at 92 shillings.
Okay.
So that's what becomes anybody, any of our buyers or anything as they're discussing and negotiating with the supplier and all that, and that's what we came in. But for us to do that, that meant that we had to change the model. We had to be cost effective, and it means that we're now setting up, we have to give a reason to the supplier. Why are you different? Why should I give you different terms from the terms that I'm actually giving XYZ?
Correct,
And that's why now we had to tell them, hey, guess what? One of the key things we'll actually do, we'll pay you cash.
Oh. So if you're giving me good business upfront, why not?
Second thing, you're not going to distribute to my stores. You're going to distribute to only one store. I'm going to do my distribution. So it's just a warehousing and distribution to actually have a discussion around. And third, now from a consumer eye also, is to also demonstrate, guess what? Since I'm actually paying, it's only very few items. Whenever you come to Jazza, it's a great saving for everyday saving. So, but for me to do that also, I cannot afford to put the most fancy lights, the most shiny floor. No. It's a no-frill environment. But what you have is the best prices. Your best brand, your second best brand, and my private label brand, and that's it to choose from. But at the best price.
Yeah, but on the best price. And I think when it comes to, when you think about it, the model of giving either or saving or giving a discount, does that mean a lot of people have to compromise on quality? Did that end up being the case for you? Because someone will say, okay, the discounter definitely saving me, a couple of coins. But then again, am I really getting, value for that price?
And that's exactly now where we actually come in for what exactly the discounter bit works, which means it's the same brand that you know. It is the same Hanan brand. Okay. But the same Hanan brand, the way you'll have actually bought it elsewhere versus how you're buying it here, it's way cheaper. Yeah. But I still go back to Hanan and tell Hanan, please, I also need another brand here called Jazza. I need it in this particular spec. I need, this is my model, give me the best price, and I pass that exactly to the market. Same thing I did to something like milk. We sell milk at 44 shillings as an everyday price. Oh, wow. When the others promote milk, they promote it at 49 bob. As our everyday price is exactly 44 shillings. And that 44 bob price is so unique to us. Why did we get that? We worked on the packaging. Instead of delivering with a carton, deliver with a crate. That crate we can be able to keep on reusing it. That cost that I've actually saved, I pass it over. I am paying the dairy guy cash. When I actually just deliver like this, I actually give you cash. So when I give you cash, that cash discount you give me, I pass it over. You're centrally delivering, as in the orders are only once. You don't have to have marketing guys behind you coming in looking for the brand. So for example, if you have to create your own brand today, you have to have a marketing department, you have to have a sales department. You no longer need that. You just need to produce. The brand is mine. The shop is actually there. That cost saving, give it to me, I pass it to the customers. And that's exactly what we're actually coming up and just saying, hey, we'll actually do that. And outside this market, when you go to UK, the Aldi Lidl market, if you go to Turkey, there's a model called BIM. BIM. BIM is actually the best what you can actually call the best discounter, hard discounter that you actually have to actually compare with. They're in every street and corner, because at this particular point it's small stores, 2,500 to 3,000 square foot. You go in there, you're getting your everyday essentials and at the lowest price, and that's it. Correct. And so this means that you've got a cap on the range of products that you can stock. So I'm not going to walk into Jazza discounter, find all sorts of electronics, and so we're talking about only the essentials, the basics. Only for your pantry, your kitchen and pantry. So no clothing, no electronics, all the white goods, no. We are only solving for your everyday needs. The same way you notice the old uchumi. You remember that small uchumi that, but now with the service that you miss with Nakumat and the blue label bit that you miss with Nakumat, but now with a better concoction to it. And then we're now having, for example, we're just about to finish with our bread, because we want to sell bread and milk at 99 bob. It's all about saying who will come up and stand for Kenyans. And we saw we said last week with the protest that the key thing is, so what are the business people doing?
Right.
And that's what you're saying. We now are coming up and they're saying, we are going to cut off. We're going to be low margin, quality first. And to address the quality issue is very clear. If you buy anything at Jazza, whether our own brand or the other brand, and you have only used a very small, as in you have used and you don't like it, bring it back, we'll actually change it for you for free. Conditional return policy. And guess what? We have placed that at every store entrance. In all our store entrance, you'll actually clearly see we are not there for short gains and profit. We're actually not there for what we have that very clearly pasted up in all our stores. So, and we are doing all this for nothing else, just to make sure that someone has to do something.
So there's a bigger calling behind what you're doing.
Yes.
For you, you seem to have Kenyans' needs at heart. It seems to be a passion project for you that everybody can at least have a decent meal, can have the essentials, the basics at home.
Exactly. Someone has to solve a problem. There's a problem in the market, and that's the gap that I actually clearly saw. So everybody else will actually be having high prices, and then over the weekends we just throw some crumbles off. So, and it became now everybody now has this end month offers. But what is the everyday need? People don't, it's not a must that everyone is shopping at the end of the month. Milk bread is actually a weekly shopping affair. So who is this person who's going to say everyday low price? Who is this going to work with suppliers and all that and say, suppliers have had a problem with this market. They have always been paid late, and that's why you find cash flow issues with suppliers. And who will actually say, hey, we are going to pay you cash.
Upfront,
So we are solving for the suppliers, we are solving for the customers. And that's what we want to do, so that, yes, we are only at 12 stores now. We want to be 40 stores by the end of this calendar year.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Speaking about expansion, we've seen a lot of brands or chains actually shut down. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Was it the hastiness in trying to expand too quickly that has closed, a couple of these big supermarkets down? But even for you, I mean, you don't have that fear factor of, okay, maybe are we expanding too rapidly? What's the strategy around it? Because when you say we're going to get to 40, whoa, that is no small feat.
The lucky bit what we have is we have actually looked at the market. We have seen the successes of other brands off retail. I'll give a good example of Equity when it was actually starting. M-Pesa and all such things. Very small, low cost units. So we are not expanding with high capex kind of situations. We are looking for proper rent amounts that are actually white. There's no fanciness, so you won't find Turkish tiles there and also no. If we get our place, we get our nice terrazzo, just like any normal Kenyan home, or entry level tiles, because what customers are coming in at that place is to look at Jazza is to be able to get your everyday needs and all that. At the same time, which is very important, we believe in Jazza, zero is better than negative. And that means every unit has to be profitable. Any unit that is not profitable, we're just shutting it down. So within this particular point, if I see a store and I have like one in, as a candidate, I will shut it down and take the assets and everything to the next station, because you actually, in normal retail, you'll take around 9 to 10 months, if lucky 8 months to break even. For us, we actually bring it way closer to up around 5 to 6 months. Within 5 to 6 months, if you're actually not at a break even point, we don't need to be there. We shift those assets, take them elsewhere. That makes it, it's no longer about expansion. It's about every unit. How is it performing? That way then removes the whole notion of you're expanding too fast. No. Because every unit is telling its own story. If you remember the Nakumatt days and that last report which said one store, which was Westgate, when actually it went down, was doing 15% of their profitability and 10% of their sales. When that store like that just drops down, that means it was really holding very many stores, because they were having almost 56 stores then. And that is what you're trying to avoid. One store cannot be able to be taking care of the other P&Ls for everyone else. No, it's every individual unit. If it doesn't make sense, shut it down.
And it also helps with accountability.
Yes.
Because you need to understand, okay, what's making unit X fail.
Yes.
You're right. And what's making the others successful? How does this determine your locality? Because you've talked about how, okay, fine, you're in different areas, but how do you go about selecting which area is perfect or a perfect fit for your brand?
One of the key conditions for a brand, standalone, and also we have to be near an estate for walk-in traffic.
Okay.
So where we are, for example, we have 2 stores in Buruburu, right next to where the estates and all that, the estate gets. We have 2 stores in Kayole, again also mass market and all that. In Pipeline, very heavy traffic. In Imaradaima, right outside Gate B. In Langata, right as you enter the estate, opposite the Langata Hospital thereabout. Kashi, same thing in the petrol station, but next to the market. Thereabout. Same thing to Tawala. Again, estate.
Nice.
Chokas, same thing. Again, all what you're saying is in every place we actually go has to be next to walk-in traffic and masses and all that. We are not in any mall.
I'm not hearing Karen, I'm not hearing Runda, I've not heard about Riverside. Why did those people don't want to save? Because they don't walk.
So we're doing, and what Langata has actually shown us, the acceptance of Langata, and also at Buruburu, many homeowners there, we've actually gotten so much because you have our WhatsApp 074,000. We actually have the first Kenyan WhatsApp e-commerce. You can be able to order from WhatsApp itself. And actually pay through M-Pesa right at WhatsApp, and you finish the whole thing. We don't need one app.
Nice. One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. And we have actually seen most of our customers actually coming from those areas you mentioned.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so we're in discussion to see whether we can get one.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here representing all the Barbies.
So at Karen End, we're actually trying to get something there.
Yes.
At Riverside, there's the office park there. We're trying to see what can actually come off, because clearly, even forgetting about even the residents alone, all those areas also have a lot of offices, and offices are also struggling. As in, right now, any employer is looking at how to improve his profitability, and also to actually better the cost of living for his own employees and stuff. So this comes in quite handy, so that we have to be everywhere, not only the eastern side of Nairobi.
All right.
Yes. So you'll see us, the rest of these other 40 shops, you'll see us on Kiambu Road.
Okay.
You'll see us in Westlands. We are actually going to CBD. We are going, all the 40 stores you're talking about is a Nairobi affair. And next year we'll go to Mombasa and Nakuru.
You really have your work cut out for you, eh? Your foot soldiers, wakokazi, eh? They are scouting for locations. They are looking for, the ideal space that that you want, right? Yes. But here comes in, our Kushite friends, and of course Somalis are known for the trade of wholesale. They've done a lot for Kenyan families, because they have been known historically to be the guys who are the plugs, How are you dealing with that? I don't know if it's a thorn in your flesh, because the wholesales that you see that are run by them, I even buy a couple of things from them, are typically in estates. They're also, the kind of the same module. So how is that working for you?
And that's exactly now what you've done, because you've actually taken that experience. What you miss there is that experience that you need a basket, you need a small trolley. You miss that bit with the suppliers, with those wholesalers themselves. It typically means you need to do to get like a small experience and all that. So our prices are better. At the same time, unfortunately for some of those other brands, you find that you'll buy today a brand that you don't even know. Tomorrow you'll come, you don't even get it and all that. We are giving you the brands that you love.
So you have the consistency.
Consistency of the brands that you love, and we are keeping it Kenyan. For example, all our private labels are all being done by local Kenyan companies. Kenya Orchards. And on this other side, we have Wahi doing our packaging on the side, Hanse and all that. It's all about keeping everything Kenyan, specific to production.
So buy, build Kenya.
But at the same time, you're telling the guys who are delivering to us, you have to be competitive, because the brand has to be known for nothing else. I have to give a reason why someone should not walk in there but come to my place. And also respectfully is the fact that we also need, and happy to say we are actually going to be among the first retailers that that is connected to the KRA e-teams.
Okay.
Items is different, and I know it's not popular.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep even your quantities and your units within that.
Okay.
We want to make sure, as we are actually making our money, we are also making sure that the government is actually seeing its rightful taxes.
Rightful being the key word.
Rightful, yeah. Don't add those taxes.
Right.
But
okay, you're sorting Zakayo out.
Yeah, so, but you have to be very clear.
Yes.
People have to pay taxes.
Oh, correct.
People have to pay wages to from minimum wage.
Yeah.
As in, those are the things you're saying. As you actually shop in a Jazza shop, the employees are actually guys who are happy. They're being paid the rightful amount. Our employees are actually are also the same benefactors of our nice prices.
Right.
The suppliers are actually getting paid. The government is collecting its tax.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying holistically.
Yeah, right.
That competitive environment, because if someone is not paying or someone is buying things that were actually were not declared, it will be hard for you to compete. But as long as that item passed through the proper channel, I'm beating that price.
So you have compliance.
Yes.
You know, being compliant rather is a very key thing for you to remain compliant. But one thing I also like that you've said, I guess from your experience working with other retail brands, you understand what workers and wages, wage issues there are. And so maybe you can speak a little bit about that, because like you're talking about fair trade prices, like it's important that, you know, you have some fairness in this practice.
You're only as good and as big as your employees. Your employees are the ones who will actually tell and actually craft for you. They're the ones silently, as we speak this morning, talking to that restaurant owner out there. You'll never be on all those 40 locations or 20, 30 and all that. So that importance of actually making sure that they're well compensated, they are taken care of in the rightful way. And you don't get an employee coming in at 6 and then leaving at 9. Where is their social life? Where is their families and those other things? That's what you're saying. Tengeneza that whole market bit and make sure that everything is actually well sorted out for for your employees and all that. And so we make sure we actually observe clear working hours. We actually provide lunch and all those other things.
Oh, nice.
And allowances for the same. Because we are only going to be as strong as that.
And you have a reward system as well for those who are performing.
Yes. Bonuses are key. You have to pay for performance. It's always a carrot and stick affair.
I love it.
Yes, so you actually meet your bonus, you actually get it. You don't meet your bonus, also let's discuss. The other Kenyans who are willing to give me their best. So so it's a carrot and stick affair.
All right, Willie from Jazza Discounter is here. You're hearing the story, already giving us a couple of tips when it comes to how to run business in retail. I love it. He's talking about expansion plans. He's going to be coming to a neighborhood near you, okay? And because my friends in Langata don't like to say they live in Langata, they call it Lower Karen. No, he means Karen Hardy. That's where he's going, not you. But of course, keep it K24, because when we get back, there's more definitely from Willie on Trendsetters. Remember, we love to hear from you through our social media platforms at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. We'll see you in just a bit.
The biggest reggae and rhythm show